Good afternoon, and welcome to the Wednesday afternoon conference call with Trusts Unlimited. This is Jim George speaking. I'm the non-attorney spokesman and facilitator for Trusts Unlimited, and I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to this call, particularly those of you calling in for the first time, and those will be listening to the replay over the next 24 to 48 hours. We like to move quickly through these calls, bottom line the information for you. Now, our standard format over the years has been to spend a little time talking about the situation in Iraq and the reinstitution of the Dinar, a few minutes talking about the program we've put in place to assist you, and then we go to a brief Q&A. We've decided over the last couple of months to go on a weekly basis with regard to whether or not we're going to get into a detailed explanation of the program we've put in place. We do want to discuss the situation in Iraq because we want to inform our existing clients of the information that we think is relevant. But frankly, we have been inundated with trust requests, and so we want to make sure that we can service those requests as well as changes that our existing clients make. I'd also like to mention at this time that what complicated matters worse was I was involved in an accident last week. By the way, I want to thank those of you that were kind enough to wish me well. I did ask for you not to contact me simply because we were inundated, but of course I welcome those calls and I thank you very much. For what it's worth, now that I've got my vision back, I can let you know that I don't recommend that individuals lose their vision or their hearing for a week, but I can tell you this. When such a thing happens and then you recover that sense once again, it really is an awesome feeling, and you begin to appreciate how fortunate we all are just to have a normal health situation. So, again, thanks so much for that. I'm going to get into some information here with regard to Iraq because that's where we are. I will be giving our newer callers our contact information. I'm going to strongly recommend that you listen to our call of March 3rd because that call has a in-depth explanation of the program we've put in place to assist you. But again, we make a decision about discussing that on a week-to-week basis. We still are very backlogged on our work, and so until we can catch up with all of that, we have to make that a priority. But let's talk a little bit about the situation in Iraq. First, by way of the dinar and these other currencies, we're not advocating either the sale or purchase of these currencies, but we're sharing with you information that we deem as relevant as substantial currency holders ourselves. Of course, the most relevant information or prediction would be a window for the reinstitution of the Iraqi dinar. Things are kind of muddled in Iraq right now. We're sort of in a state of limbo, but we're still looking at April 1st to May 15th as the most likely window for the reinstitution of the dinar. And I'm going to get into the rationale for that right now. Now, last week we did see the passage of the 2021 budget. There were two issues in that budget of concern. One was the budget was passed with the devalued rate of the dinar at $14.50. Now, that, of course, has upset a lot of people, but as I've said before, while that's not the preferable situation, the fact of the matter is that even if the budget is passed with a stated exchange rate of the dinar, that does not preclude the possibility of the readjusting that rate. And I'm going to give you a good example. Another issue in the budget had to do with the projected price of a barrel of crude oil. Now, Iraq enjoys 90% of its revenue from the sale of petroleum. So this is a very important number. Well, the budget was passed with a projected price of a barrel of oil at $45. We know that today a price of Brent crude barrel goes for $65. So they passed a budget based on 90% of their revenue coming from the production of oil, which they have devalued to about 65% of the actual revenue enjoyed. My point for saying that is that they're going to be able to adjust the price of a barrel of oil. They're going to be able to adjust the exchange rate for the dinar. Now, there are a number of explanations for why they have devalued the dinar. One explanation is it's simply to collect the balance of the provisional 3-0 currency from the Iraqi citizens, which I think is the primary reason. A second reason is that they know that some of the corrupt officials are going to try to ferret that money out of the country so that they can exchange it through third parties utilizing the 3 zeros. Another reason is the government, frankly, needed the liquidity, and they want to collect the money that the Iraqis have understandably been hoarding because of all of the corruption. Then there's the issue with reserve currency. So there's a lot of reasons why they would artificially devalue the currency. But the debate with regard to the exchange rate, in my opinion, leans toward the adjustment of the exchange rate and the reinstitution of the dinar. So let me review with you the various factions that are involved in this little scuffle. First, we have the Rafidi bank system. And according to the banks, pursuant to Article 41, Paragraph A of the Iraqi Constitution, the parliament can unilaterally adjust the exchange rate of the dinar and bypass the CBI. Now, the Parliament Financial Committee, which the parliament established to oversee the CBI operations, says no, that now the power to adjust the exchange rate resides with the Parliamentary Financial Committee. Now, I'm not too worried about that for a very simple reason. Since the Parliament created that committee, the Parliament can simply dissolve that committee if they get at loggerheads. So again, in my view, Article 41, Paragraph A of the Iraqi Constitution rests the power with the Parliament. Now, another gentleman has stepped up, Soleimani, who is the director of the Department of Financial Operations for Iraq, not to be confused with Soleimani, who is the Iranian terrorist that Trump took out, has stated that in his opinion, the exchange rate between the Iraqi dinar and the U.S. dollar will remain where it is and remain fixed for the next 4 years. Now, this gentleman has absolutely no power or authority whatsoever for this to occur. He simply is expressing his opinion. So at the end of the day, in my opinion, the argument for adjusting the exchange rate of the dinar against the U.S. dollar and reinstituting the currency in country is still fully in play. The power does reside with the parliament. And since the budget was just passed, now there's going to be serious discussions, in my opinion, about the exchange rate and about adjusting the price of a barrel of oil to reflect accurately the projected earnings over the balance of 2021. So that's where we stand right now today. For those of you that have recently applied for trust packages or have requested our initial informational package, we are working literally 7 days a week to get that information out. I've got probably 85% of the backlog taken care of. I'm going to spend the next 2 days making sure that at the close of Friday, everyone that has contacted us for whatever reason has gotten whatever information they have requested. Now, those of you calling in for the first time, I just want to give you our contact information. You can go to our website, which is trusts with an S, unlimitedllc.com. Our email address is trusts with an S, unlimitedllc@gmail.com. Our phone service is 307-274-4122. If you'd like to listen to recent conference call playback, and I would recommend, again, the call from March 3rd, or if you'd be kind enough to refer us to someone that might be interested in our services, you can go to YouTube, go to Trusts Unlimited, and then go to the call of March 3rd, or you can go to IQD calls and do the same thing as well. We will be back next week at the same time. Certainly if something of a dramatic nature were to happen between now and then, and that would be, in my view, an agreement on the exchange rate of the dinar, then we will try to get out an emergency email and schedule an emergency conference call. But failing that, we will be back next Wednesday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. One last time, if you've contacted us to get our initial no-obligation informational package, or if you've actually submitted an application for a trust, it's being worked on as we speak. I will be returning calls and sending out a number of trusts when we get off of this call. So again, thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Bye-bye, everyone.